Hi everyone, welcome back to another BTLO Replay. Before we jump into Doctor, be sure to follow us on X, LinkedIn, or join the Discord server to keep in touch with the BTLO community. Links are in the description box below. Right, let's get started with Nick.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another replay video. Today we'll be covering off the Doctor investigation. It is a relatively simple Linux command line web log analysis investigation. Pretty fun. Before we get into it, be sure to give us a follow be on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and if you haven't already, join the Discord server. You can find the links in the description below. Without further ado, let's get going. So, as I mentioned, this is a web application analysis, web app analysis lab. So let's start the investigation real quick. I'll open up a new tab. So, like always, while the machines are spinning up, let's just check the details lab, see what we can understand. So this will be the credentials for the machine. It's not necessary right now. This is the scenario. One of our web app servers have been compromised and the incident response team has isolated the machine. You've been provided with remote access. The task is to investigate the system and figure out the attacker's actions. So very much SOC focused, very much defense, very much very simple in my opinion. This is an easy lab. Could be easy for some, could be difficult for others. That's why we have these. Let's also review the questions. So what's the malicious process? The port of that process. We want the URL. What else we got? Okay, look at the files I've downloaded on the server. Different types of vulnerability. Cool. The file name created. The attacker obtained reverse shell. What was the language used to create? Okay, cool. Sweet. Now we're in the machine. Let's start with question 1. What is the name of the malicious process? So this is obviously the infected host, which has been quarantined. It is our task as incident response analysts to investigate and analyze. Provide the full path of the binary. So we know this is a web server based off of the scenario. Let's open up a terminal. First things first, I personally do not like extremely white terminals because it's so hard to see. So I'm going to change this to black. Great. Cool. So first we want to understand the malicious process. So we can use PS aux to spin up or to show us any active processes that are being run on this machine. So let's see what we can find. Anything suspicious? If we keep scrolling up. While a lot of these things can look suspicious, they are also very standard Linux processes, but something will pop up if we just keep searching harder. Oh, what's this? This doesn't look like a Linux process. Apple a day. Guessing that is our malicious process. Let's see what we could do with that. So we have our name of the process. Let's see, we want to find the path to that binary. So we've got the binary name. So we can run locate apple a day. If we can learn to spell. Great, it's under user bin. So let's pop that in. Fantastic. Cool. Next question. What is the port that the malicious process listens on? So with any process analysis or anything we want to, if we want to understand any outbound or inbound connections on Linux machines, we can run netstat, even on Windows too. So let's run netstat, see what we can find. So netstat tlnp. Great. Let's see what we're seeing here. So localhost on 53. That could be one. Port 53, port 445. That is the one that's standing out the most. Got 3306. Let's try a couple. See what happens. Wrong answer. Let's try 445. Maybe that's the one. Great. So Apple a Day is listening on port 445. Next question. So we want to see the full URL from which the malware was downloaded to the system. So this is where we want to look into some of the weblogs. So we know, or if you want to know where weblogs exist, they're typically under var log. So you can go cd/var/log and see what logs we got here. So got different Xorg logs, Apache, Amazon audit logs. That's something we want to look into, maybe even auth logs. So we want to see the URL. So let's go check out audit logs. See what we can find there. Great. Provide the full URL. So we know the name of the binary is Apple Today. So let's run a simple grep search of that in this directory. Maybe I'm writing it wrong. I think it's wrong. There we go. I completely forgot my options. Cool. So let's check out audit log 4. So let's cat audit log 4. Type that into grep and we'll search Apple a Day. Okay, nothing's coming up there. Don't know why grep IRL didn't work. Let's try audit log 3. Oh, we got something. Let's check this out. Provide the full URL. So we can see that wget was being run and it was calling out to this IP address on port 666565. That's the file that was pulling it down. So let's try that. Let's go HTTP 18.132.210.238 port 6565 / Apple a Day. Awesome. That was the one. So next question. So this is the leading question on that. There was another file downloaded from the same server. Provide the full URL. So we now know the name of the, or the IP address, sorry, of the malicious server. So what we can do is grep this IP address in this entire file. See what else we can find. So if we run cat audit log, not audio log, what do we see here? Looks like we got a linenum.sh file, which is a, from what I remember, it is a Linux enumeration script. So let's pop that in there, see what if that comes up. .238 on port 4646 this time around. linenum.sh. Bam. We got it. Cool. Next question. We want to read, we want to understand the vulnerability that was exploited on this machine. So what is the port running on the system that was used as the entry point, and what was the type of vulnerability exploited? So we know this is a web server, and obviously standard ports and typical ports are port 80 and 443. But we don't want to just assume, we want to check this out. So let's check out the Apache logs, because this is a Apache web server. Cool, so we're in the Apache files, the Apache log file, sorry, and let's check out access log 1, or just even access log, see what we can see. Okay, nothing there. Let's check out access log 1. Great, we got some stuff. Although this is a very large file, looks like we do see some interesting information here just by running cat without any filters or grep or anything like that. So this is good. So what do we see here? I can see some union select commands being run, some root user. There's a file here called searcher.php. Oh, looks like who am I is being run as well on the machine. This could be interesting. What's the question? The port and the vulnerability exploited. So based off of this, we can also see SQL map being run here as well. So attackers run SQL map on the web server, probably trying to understand any vulnerabilities on the machine. And it is some union commands being run, so I can assume here that it is a SQL injection attack or SQL injection union attack. And the port would likely be port 80, not 443, because this is all in plain text. So let's give that a shot. So port 80, SQL injection. I was right, great. What was the name of that file that had the vulnerability? Provide the full system path. Cool, so we've seen a couple of files here already. We can see a couple PHP files, which look suspicious. We have searcher.php, and we have cc.php. So let's try that. So we got /prod. Let's just make sure that's correct. Old searcher.php. Ah, we want the full system path, right, don't we? So we can use the same thing as we used for question 1. We can run the locate command. So let's search for that. Locate searcher.php. Bam, full file. There we go. So we got /var /dub/HTML. Bam. Next question. What was the name of the file created, and what is the command executed by the attacker? So, as I mentioned earlier, you can see some command line being run. You can see Python being run later on. They're running some import OS. You can see who am I. So that is probably something we want to see. If you wanted to confirm that even, or double check, let's actually run cat. So access log.1, pipe that into grep, and so we can see the command function used by in the HTTP request. So let's just grep the command. Now you can see what's happening here. So we got cmd who am I. So that is something that's we can definitely mention here. And we want the file name too. So we have searcher, and we also have cc.php. Let's just run locate, see if it exists anywhere else. It doesn't, so it's probably deleted. Okay, let's just give that a shot. Let's try cc.php. And the command we ran was who am I. Fantastic. The attacker gained or obtained a reverse shell. What was the language used to create the reverse shell, and what was the lowest port used? So we know that they were using Python, as they were importing different functions and modules from that script. We want to know Let's put Python actually first. We also want to know the lowest port that was used. So we can check in these HTTP requests. We can see in these connect variables. We could see 4433, 4444. There's nothing. Okay, we got 443 as well. So I think that would be the lowest one here. So let's try 443. Fantastic. Complete the lab, and there we go. Of course, in an investigation scenario, you would have to then remove these files and make sure the user's been removed and harden the server. But this is a fun little log analysis lab. Yeah, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to never miss a video. In the meantime, remember to join us on Discord and tune in every Friday at 6 PM BST for BTLO Replay. Thanks everyone, and see you all next time.